Hey, it's Chad with Drawn and Cornered. It is September 28th, 2021. Drawn and Cornered is all about bite-sized little morsels of news, a little bit of analysis to start your day so you've got everything you need to be in the know for the rest of your day. We release videos on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the week. If you like that sort of thing, subscribe down below. If you have any questions, comments, critiques, also down below. Today's news, the thing you need to know, is Nancy Pelosi is stepping forward with their $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. This is the bill that has been a little bit sort of harangued because the progressives says they will not vote for it until their $3.5 trillion bill comes up in the Senate, which it's not going to. It's not going to be done in time. It's not going to be able to get done as far as the vote's concerned. So Nancy Pelosi is moving forward with the $1 trillion infrastructure bill. Now, progressives have said they will not vote for it. They will not do it. It's not going to happen. They're going to hold it hostage for the 3.5 progressive, massive spending, just increasing of government size, entitlements, all of that. So they said they're not doing it. This is how this is going to go. Nancy Pelosi says that she does not bring a bill to the floor. She doesn't have the votes. My guess is, as much as the progressives are going to make a big show of this, as much as they're going to say everything they can, ultimately, they have to pass that bill. They can't be against this bill just in an effort to get the big one. The big one can come down the road. That's a different fight. But they can't say no to Nancy Pelosi and expect to ever be referenced again. Now, the bigger issue is what's going on between Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden has the capability, seemingly, as the president, to maybe massage this a little bit, maybe make this seem like a win for everybody, maybe kind of put some pressure on the progressives to relent a little bit so that they can get the first bill out, first one done, the one that makes the American people very happy, that gets some sort of positive press going for Joe Biden. But he's not doing that. Instead, he's more siding with the progressives and talking about how this is all very needed in a $3.5 trillion bill and how important all of these things are. And Nancy Pelosi is pushing values instead of dollars. And this is where it's going to get a little tricky because ultimately the vote is this week. So if she doesn't have the votes, it's going to be an enormous embarrassment, which I refuse to believe she's going to let happen. So the progressives are going to fall in line. And if that's going to be pressure, if that's going to be favors, if that's going to be concessions to some degree and in capacity for future bills or whatever, they're going to fall in line. So Thursday's vote for the $1 trillion is going to go through. The infrastructure bill is going to go through. That's going to create momentum, especially with a favorable press and Joe Biden having almost no good stories over the last 2 months. Just everything has been terrible. This is going to be a little bright shining light in there. And because of that, and because of pushing the bipartisan aspect, they can put pressure back on the Republicans to say, hey, look at how much the Americans love this deal where we work together and this bipartisanship and us creating unity and all this stuff. That's the new line. That's going to be the new pressure point, is saying that because the Republicans worked in this one capacity and everything went really well, Republicans should be working in more capacities. They won't raise the debt limit. They won't do anything while that $3.5 trillion out there. This is a way to put pressure back on them. So that's what's going to happen on Thursday. They're going to reverse that pressure valve from being almost exclusively between moderate Democrats and progressive Democrats and shift it back over towards the Republicans, saying the American people want us to work together, so let's make that happen. Watch for it. It's going to happen. The second thing that's very important is the Fed has come forward and has blamed Delta for the slowing economic recovery, for all of the issues with inflation and all these things. It's a lie. It's just a flat out lie. It shows that the Fed is a political animal and has really no business existing anymore because of the fact that it's become a political animal. As a political animal, it is a useless entity. It is essentially just a battering ram with which successive presidents can beat the economy up in whatever way they see fit. So they've come forward. They said that Delta's the problem. I will remind you again, this virus has done nothing to our economy. This virus has done nothing to our livelihood or anything along anything as far as actual impacts, practical impacts in your life. The virus is not responsible for that. Government is responsible. And you may argue that that was the good thing to do, the right thing to do. And I think there's an argument to be made in that capacity. But do not let them push this idea that the virus is the one who is controlling those things. Government is the one. The shutdowns that are occurring in predominantly blue states is the reason for the slowing economy in those states. If you look at the red states are doing great economically speaking, unemployment-wise speaking. They are doing fantastic because they are open. They are dealing with COVID in an open environment. Blue states have shut down, continue to shut down. They're the ones who are responsible for the slowing economy, for the faltering, the stagnant economy, is the government. This is going to be another line that's going to try and be pushed. And now that the Fed's doing it, you can see that Democrats are going to fall in line with this as well. This is going to be a battle against Delta, and then by proxy, everybody who refuses to get vaccinated, and by proxy on that, dirty conservatives. That's going to be the push. It's conservatives that are actually holding the economy back when you look at it, all the red states are doing great. Conservatives, by and large, are doing great. Conservatives aren't worried about this disease anymore. Conservatives aren't worried about the pandemic anymore. Again, generally speaking, it is the vaccinated blues that are worried about this disease, that are still locked down, that are still doing mandates, that are still requiring restaurants to do social distancing or eating outside or all this other nonsense that you don't have to do anymore. It's been taken care of. It's ready to go. We are good to move forward. And the sooner that blues figure out a way, a pathway to that, the sooner they can get that economy back, the better off Joe Biden's going to be. But for some reason, they're holding on to this as the last vestige of control, as the last opportunity they have to perhaps put themselves over the top when it comes to any sort of argument with Republicans, which again, over the last 2 months, have all gone conservatives' way. Nothing good has come out of this administration over the last 2 months, and they need something. It's going to be COVID. The final thing that I wanted to talk about is Joe Biden. Joe Biden has been a mess for a long time. The recent polls have come out saying that the American public don't even think he's mentally capable. The majority of the American public, I want to say it's like 51, 53%, don't think he's mentally there enough to do the office of the presidency. Now, I know that everybody talked about Trump being insane and crazy, and I think a lot of that was hyperbolic. I don't know that a lot of people actually thought he was crazy. I just think they thought he was kind of a jerk and, brash and whatever those things might be. But there are people that are legitimately concerned that Joe Biden doesn't have the mental acuity and are worried about who it is that is controlling him from behind the scenes. This is a dangerous place to be because of the fact that so many things have gone wrong. If everything was going really smoothly, you can have these thoughts and be like, but it doesn't matter. But now everything that furthers that narrative, that furthers that notion that he's not mentally there is going to be a problem for him. So any faltering he has in his speech, any bumbling he has with policy, any foibles he has with getting the right plan out or talking to the right people or mispronouncing a name is only going to be further indication that he's not there. And that's going to start shaking any sort of resolve or any sort of recognition of his importance as a president. And from there, everything sort of crumbles out from underneath him. And that's going to be a big problem, especially when you need a powerful, capable person to whip up interest and desire to follow him into these tax plans, into these infrastructure bills, into these massive spending plans, into new world orders and build back better type of environments. Can't do that if people don't believe that you're mentally capable of leading them. And that's where we are today. Thank you very much. Again, this is Chad with Drawn and Cornered. We do these videos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll see you on the weekends if anything big happens. If you have any questions, comments, or critiques, leave them down below. Please subscribe. Thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow.